This is a solar return reading for Eric. I am excited to do this reading because even looking at it, I said to myself, this looks familiar. So I pulled up Gloria's, and a lot of your solar returns had the same theme this year. So I thought that was funny because that does not always happen. Um, just to put that out there before I forget, that was just interesting to me that your suns are in the same house, your Venuses are in the same house, and your Mars are in the same house this year. If that was this year that I did yours, I'm pretty sure. So just funny because those are our personal planets, right? So a lot of what is getting a lot of our active energy um, is seen in both areas for both of you, which makes total sense to me that you two are coexisting and trying to share a life together. So, how beautiful that the solar returns reflect that and are also similar in those placements. So, let's get right into it. Eric, your solar returns are going to be the where the sun has returned to its original place in your chart, meaning that everything else moves around that by a degree as related to the sun moving. So the sun comes back to the same position it was in 1 degree of Virgo for you. What has changed now is that since everything moves, the rising sign has moved, and now that has put your sun in a different house. That's significant where the sun staying in the same sign gives you kind of this anchor of your ego and your identity is still you, but now where the sun shines in your chart is really the focal point of your life, setting your most conscious expression and most conscious identifying, building experiences happen in this house for you. So now it's moved from the eighth house of shared resources and a spiritual house to now a sixth house of servitude and practicality and reality. So where your feet are on the ground right now is where your interests lie. It's an earth house of building something and bringing your ideas into reality. You might find this year your focus and your energy spent, a lot of it is in your work fields, wherever you clock in the morning or whatever your job is. You might feel like you really find a sense of purpose there, that whatever you're doing for your career or your job, it doesn't, the 10th house is more like what you're known for. If you're at a party and somebody's like, hey, it's nice to meet you, they ask what your name is, and then not long after that they're going to ask you, what do you do? That's kind of the 10th house. So what are you known for? Where should I put you in my mind as far as like social status or public recognition or expertise level? So it's not about that. It's about the actual work that you're doing every day that isn't about proclaiming it to anyone. It's about keeping your head down and getting in the daily grind of things. So this is where you're going to feel a big piece of your identity is involved in whatever that work is. It's the repetition of that work and being consistent and making it into a routine, feeling a sense of like self-discipline and pride in that, and feeling useful. So the sun in Virgo in the sixth house is a very happy place to be because that is the natural ruler of the sixth house is Virgo. So when Virgo's in its own house and it is shining there, it really feels comfortable. So you might feel like more confidence this year in yourself. When you have a natal sun in the eighth house, sometimes there's kind of layers that you have to dig through to really see that shining brightly. It's a lot of psychological energy, and that's your natal chart. So when the sun's in a year where it's in the sixth house of the natural ruler, you might feel that you're not in your head as much. Maybe this is the year that you're just doing more and thinking about it less. There's a lot of mental energy that always lives in a Virgo sun It's Mercury ruled, so it's just a brilliant mind, and you can't help but be in it sometimes. And this year, though, it's more confident, and it doesn't have to spend so much time in these deeper thoughts and feelings that sometimes you don't know how to express. You're really in your element this year. That earth element is keeping you grounded, focused on the now and the everyday, and not so much worried about future things or past problems or emotional trauma. Um, it's really about looking at the calendar every day. What do I need to accomplish today? What can I do to really show my skills at my job or where I'm giving myself every day? And what can I do to really serve somebody? Virgo is all about being of service. They don't want to feel useless or that they're taking too much from something else. They don't want to be the weak link. They want to always be the one that is helping solve problems and the one that's taking action to make this a better place for everyone. Is it by tidying up something? Is it by pointing out something that's not working that needs to be fixed that you can fix? Is it making something more organized? Are you in a chaotic space sometimes at work and they really rely on you to help find the organization and be a practical problem solver? You might have a real eye for seeing the potential in things that other people miss or they just don't even want to look at. Virgo is the sign of seeing what everything's best potential could be and really helping other people get there. So you might be someone who's in charge of getting your team or whatever you do to the next level of being um, more productive or more concise. That's your gift, and you're really able to do that this year. It's also the sign of physical health. Sometimes people born with the sun in the sixth house can be a little more susceptible to nervous, like feelings or stomach upsets, sometimes allergies, something like that. You don't have that natally, but you're there this year. So it's important for you to be consistent in your day-to-day routines as far as physical health too. Are you eating the right way? Are you getting exercise daily? Things that we know that we're supposed to do, but sometimes we forego because it's just like hard to commit to doing consistent routines like that, especially if you have a family and young children. But you want to do that this year. You really want to focus on your physical health. Like, what are you putting into your body? Are you eating healthy the way you want to? Virgo's connected to the earth and to health holistically. So it would imply, as close to fresh things as you can get. It's like the Virgo's dream, to live at the farmer's market and get it locally and be putting pure things. The Virgin is the sign of the Virgo, and that can relate to just purity. Your body really thrives on like pure ingredients, and it feels its best when it's just not bogged down by fake or processed stuff. So you might feel like that really gets you going this year. Let's move on now. Your moon is still on the sign of Taurus, but it's also in a different house. Natally, I think it was in your fourth house. So that is also a spiritual house. The water houses. So your sun was in the eighth house and your moon was in the fourth house. So those are that with the 12th house, we consider those like spiritual houses. So natally, you had a few placements in those houses. Now it's kind of about being it more into this realism realm of the year. It's less fantasy or dreaming or being caught in past or worried about futures or being consumed in things that are really not happening right now. This year is a what's happening right now year for you. You want emotional security as the moon, and you really want to feel that this year of what you have been working for, that you actually have materialized proof of your efforts. You're going to take value in what you have acquired because of your efforts. The moon is ever changing. So you might feel like some parts of the year you have a lot more resources, and then another part you do not. But in the sign of Taurus, it is still focused on that stability and the desire to build your own empire from your own efforts. So even though that your financial situation could be changeable, your desire to have proof of your work is stable and it's a fixed position for you this year. You might be more interested in knowing about your finances, or you might really have like a project that you want to work towards to purchase or build. This earth element here, it makes you want to always be providing more security and more comfort for yourself. So Taurus loves comfort. Are you wanting to make, in addition to your property, to make your living area more comfortable for yourself and your family? Or is this the year that you really want to start putting money away because you have future plans of doing a bigger project? It's something, usually a financial interest here, that you work hard and you have taken things seriously, and you would like to make sure that it's not being wasted or just frivolously spent. You might feel like you deserve some things in life that are a little bit more luxury this year than what you've had. Maybe the changeability in this spot is that you're going to find yourself more emotionally drawn to purchases, because Taurus really likes some nice things. It's the sign of beauty. It's ruled by Venus, who really knows what good taste is. You have good taste in things. And the moon can be emotionally triggered. So if you see something this year that is shiny and you think, I work hard, I deserve to have something like this, you might be drawn to buying it. But I think a higher expression of this would be, I do deserve that and I do want that. It is good value, but maybe hit the pause button and say, I deserve to have stability in my life too. And that's what I really want. I really want to know that I have a cushion and I can rely on my own income. So I'm not going to just emotionally spend it on things and then regret that decision later. I'm going to really think about my purchases and make sure that they reflect all the hard work that I have done to earn this money in the first place. So it's about valuing your efforts and valuing what you do to provide for yourself, and making sure that you do reward yourself with things that help you reflect your worth, but that you're not doing so in an emotionally triggered way that actually backfires because it makes you feel less secure in your finances. And it's in 0 degrees. So natally, you have a Taurus moon, but now that it's in a 0 degree this year, this is one of the stronger feelings that are going to be part of your year. It's going to feel like a new energy to you, even though it's still the same Taurus moon. It's in a different context here. You might just realize that there's lots of projects you want to build on, or things you want to have, and things that you realize that you actually really value all that you do to bring money in for yourself. And you would really like to have you would really want that to reflect in your day-to-day life, in your your shelter, your home. You want to make sure that you have nice things that show that you do work hard, but we just don't want to do that impulsively. So let's move on now. Your Mercury is in Leo. I want to say, was it there before? Yes. So it's just in a different house where you spend a lot of time in your life thinking and speaking and talking with partners and having like group mentality. This year it's in the sixth house right next to your sun. It's still in the sign of Leo, so you can be very passionate and enthusiastic in speech. You're probably pretty entertaining when you want to be. People probably see you as somebody who can get very like confident in what it is that they know about and want to talk about. You can be very convincing and really inspire other people. This year it's in the job. So maybe it is you're given more leadership roles in the job. Leo likes to lead, and even though the Virgo sun sometimes doesn't really want to be in the spotlight, it prefers being more of a supportive role. This year you might find at work you're ready to take on more leadership responsibilities. You have the confidence in what you're doing and you know what is required of you, and you're able to help guide other people and keep them on track too. They trust that you're not going to be like flighty or bail. That Leo is a fixed sign. So once you've proven yourself, you're stable in that and you're able to carry out whatever the job is. You have some trines going on here. So these aspects are positive placements. And it just looks like the second house and the sixth house are working really well together. So the job that you have is the sixth house and the earnings that you make from it is the second house, and they're speaking nicely to each other. So it looks like, you will start to feel that you are valued and you're making what you need to make to feel good about the work that you do. This is a positive aspect for working hard and then having the security that I want because of that. And it's not about feeling frustrations with those. There's nice, smooth communication here with that. And even though the moon can be changing, the aspect is still strong of being a favorable. Chiron's in that house too. That's our wounded healer in Aries. But it's still in a nice aspect to the sixth house. So even if there is some type of setback or disruption in your feelings of security, whether that be your actual finances or if it's just how your self-esteem towards what you're able to provide, it's something that is worked through and then in return makes you feel even better and more in line with what you're doing. So it looks like there's a lot of talk here. It looks like you're feeling it's a real life, like practical year for you of really learning about what you're doing and what you're getting from it and how that works into your day-to-day world. So let's see here now. Your Venus is in the seventh house, so a lot of feelings of harmony and peace and loving from your partnership. So make sure that you lean into that. If the second and the sixth house of the real everyday stuff feels heavy in the moment, because with Chiron there could be a part of that is a little heavier throughout the year. But you want to lean into the Venus of your chart. That's where you're going to find peace, serenity, regroup, and feel like the weight of the world's not on your shoulders. For you, this is in your partnership. And I believe that was in Gloria's partnership too. So you two both really find peace and love and support through each other. And in the sign of Virgo, you really want to be feeling like you're of service to her too. And that she's feeling like she's supported by you. And in a earth sign, it's probably through a lot of acts of service that you two connect or being in nature. You can't go wrong having any kind of date night in nature with the Earth Venus. sometimes Virgo Venus can be a little bit challenging to really express the love to someone else. They prefer to do things, but that's okay. However, you can express your love to your partner is going to bring you peace, and then that is going to be reciprocated to them and back to you. So let's move on to Mars. Your Mars is in the fourth house, and that is the same as Gloria's too. It is the Mars, the fire, the drive, the ambitions. You guys might have a lot of stuff you want to be doing on the family level. Maybe you have some really like ambitious goals this year. There's a lot you want to get done together. There's a lot of things you want to do. In the sign of Gemini is why I'm saying that. Gemini is variety. Mars is action. So it just sounds like there's a lot of projects or goals that you want to be doing together. That could be actual like projects in the home, but it could also be like as a family unit going to do many different things. Just be aware of like hot-headedness at the home between trying to get so much done. All of that ambition sometimes can make us snappy. It's a focused drive though that you both have the Mars there, so I feel like that could be a good thing. Like you guys are going to get a lot accomplished. Jupiter's right next to you in the fourth house, and those it's a little bit of a wide conjunction, but it's just a larger than life energy. You just have a lot of fuel in your tank to get things done around the house. In the fourth house, it could be moving into a bigger home, or it could be adding family members to the home. Fifth house is usually children, so I don't know if that's it, but it's the maybe more people coming over and making your home feel like a really big, fun place to be in. Maybe you're finally settled in a new home and it's feeling like this really fun place for you to be in. It's a larger than life energy at the home level. So with that, so much of the second and the sixth house going on of really being on the grind at work, maybe the fourth house is just where you're trying to balance that work hard, play hard lifestyle. And I think that's what you should take away from this. Like, if you're spending a lot of time earning things to work on projects or to buy things or put money away, that you have the reprieve of the fourth house to just really re-energize, because Mars is energy. So it's not like it's not like a relaxing, it's like that work hard, play hard. You're finding joy and re-energizing at the home. Maybe just planning a lot to do with the family to keep you all active and shake off the stress of other things. Let's see, we talked about Jupiter. Pluto's moved to 0 degrees Aquarius, but it has for everyone. So that's not it. That's an outer planet. That's not super reflected this year. It's still in the same house for you. So I don't see any like major transformations going on that's gonna like rock the world for you. Your first house has a lot of outer energy in it, where I believe in your natal chart you don't have first house things going on. So it's a energy, it's an outer planet energy. So you might feel pulls to think about your relationship with yourself, how you physically look and feel, how you're expressing yourself through how you present yourself. So with the sun in the sixth and outer planets in the first, you might be pulled to try different things physically this year. Neptune can be a little confusion. Saturn can be a little restriction. It could be a year that maybe you're like not sure if this is like the image that you really want to have, or you might play around with that. Neptune is a spiritual energy, so you might feel like called to do spiritual practices with your body. So I could see you like taking on Tai Chi or yoga. Maybe there's some type of other physical way that you move your body that really makes you feel more connected to your spiritual side, or just through, yeah, it doesn't have to be necessarily spiritual, but just more like a meditation. You might want to even try taking meditation classes and see if you just connect to your higher self that way. There's like a pull between your physical body, the way you express yourself, in this more emotionally connected energy. Pisces is a fun rising to have for the year because it's just kind of like a go with the flow, but like deeper than that. It's like you're trusting divine timing in things, and you know how you're kind of in your day to day. I feel like you're more of a serious, responsible person with your natal chart being a Sun and Saturn conjunction pretty tight in the earth sign. I feel like you're probably like a responsible person, and you probably take things seriously. People probably see you as some type of like authoritative person. Um, like you kind of keep it together. And with this year, Pisces rising is kind of like, maybe I'm going to loosen that a little bit, but not a lot because Saturn's still there. Saturn's a theme to you still. You're still a responsible person. I mean, look at the earth houses. You're not checking out of your responsibilities. That's not what I'm saying. But when it comes to like your personal style and expression of yourself, I think you're ready to kind of let loose. It's not that same Capricorn rising of like, law and order, and uh sometimes even like a sternness or a coolness about you. It's more of a easygoing, like, yeah, I can let control go a little bit. I can trust. I know I'm doing the right thing. I know I'm working hard. I know I'm having fun. I'm taking care of myself. And so I'm just going to kind of trust that everything is going to work out, and I don't have to have all the answers, and I don't have to control what other people are doing. I can just kind of check in with myself a little bit more and see how I'm doing emotionally, and see if maybe my body wants to express my emotions a little bit more, my spiritual side. So I think that's a fun little shakeup for you, because I don't feel like that is part of your usual vibes. So I think you're gonna find you might even be like attracted to water a little bit more this year. Like, I don't know if you live by water, or like you like to fish or surf, or just have be on a boat somewhere. You might just find that you really like feel more like yourself, or you find new things you like about yourself when you're somehow in the water, or somehow connected to your higher self. Okay, I think I'm going to stop there for the sake of time, and I'm pretty sure we covered everything I wanted to. Let me know if you have any questions, and happy solar return to you.